All right, folks, welcome. This is going to be the consolation cast for the CTL season number 8. I am TB Ham, and with me I do have Stark. If you are unfamiliar with Stark, well, you probably are familiar with him, you're just not aware of it. If you've ever used a build from Imba Builds that's Zerg related and won with it, you probably have him to thank for it. So there's that.
Yeah,
We are both
it
actually from
is.
All Inspiration. He's playing Terran now in Diamonds. He's formerly a very
I've
good.
I've played everything.
You played everything, yes. He's formerly a Master Zerg
Yeah, my
player.
lowest official rank was platinum, was random.
Well, that's where I am currently. I have been in Diamond once, but no longer. Just can't seem to get back up there. But yeah, this is going to be the final night for the CTL for season number 8. We're starting off with the third place match for the playoffs. It's going to be between Team UnRivaled and CTL Team 6. Both very veteran teams in the league. Unrivaled's been around since season number 2, and CT6 I think has been around since season 4, maybe 3, maybe even 3, season 4 or 3. I can't remember which one it is, but both of them very good teams. CT6 they had a squad win the league last season, so they're looking to at least, even though they're not going to be finishing first, second, they're at least to be looking to stay on the podium for this season. And Unrivaled, I mean they won seasons 2 through 5, so they've been up there a few times. But they were knocked out in the consolation match the past 2 seasons, so we'll see if it's going to be 3 seasons in a row for Unrivaled, getting knocked down here in the final week of the season. But season 5, really, Ray? Okay. Wow.
Both are
CT6
very
isn't quite as old as I
consistent
think
teams,
so.
though.
Yeah, they are both very consistent. There are some teams like Lucky 13 who they were in last place or like second to last place in their first season in the league, and then the next season they won the league, and then the season after that they got second, and then this season they're back down to I think last place. But that's okay. Those things happen. It's very hard to remain consistent, so it really is a testament to what's the word I'm looking for, the quality of those teams' leaderships. So good for them. So I guess without further too much talking, because there's no real need to. Go ahead and start getting into our first game, which is going to be on Metalopolis. Yes, it is. TVZ on Metalopolis. Should be some fun. Hopefully. Maybe
Uh,
it's terrible.
in a way, I miss these maps, but I'm also glad to see them go again now that we've gone back to a real map pool for the rest of the season.
A real
But
map pool, yeah.
yeah, it'll be a nice send-off seeing these replays. I'll be like, yes, I don't have to play here anymore, and these are the reasons why. But that being said, the game should be even more entertaining than normal because of these maps.
Indeed. So, going ahead and getting right into this, starting in the left side, not really bottom, kind of bottom left side of Metalopolis, in red for CT6. He is our Terran player. It's Indian.
And towards the east side of Metalopolis, spawning in for Team Unrivaled as the Blue Zerg player, we have Razzle.
Dude, this is a very old map, to say the least.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
they did make it force cross spawn with the Dream Pool update, so that's kind of makes it a little bit better rather than getting these crazy, ridiculous close by air spawn points, which were possible back in the day. But who cares about that? Because we've got 2 SUVs moving out of the map already.
Yeah, we got some fun going to be happening very shortly. Going down for the, I'm going to hope it's the double engineering bay block the third and the natural, and then go for the CC first. That'll be a great play, but it's probably going to be a double barracks. He's going pretty far actually for these barracks, hiding them in the third base normally. I mean, you can stick them in other places on this map, but doesn't really matter where they go as long as they're hard to find. So Zerg is going to be going for the hatch first, I would assume. Here we go, here's the drone coming out. So this is going to be a bit of a pain in the neck for Razzle to handle, but this Overlord is going to fly right over the barracks if it stays on its current path.
Yeah, not only that, he's got the Overlord that's already almost across the map to see that there's nothing but a depot, and with that he has a drone even scouting, so he doesn't want to be surprised by absolutely anything, and I think the second Overlord pathing is exactly that. He wants to know what's happening, and he's about to find out here in about a second.
Yeah.
There it is. There
And
pops
Razzle
his
was
vision.
actually, yeah, he was saving the lava as well. He was saving up the lava, not going to 16 or 17 drones, going down for the 15 pool straight after the hatchery. So this pool is about as fast as it's going to get. Also opting for the gas geyser, that's interesting. Some Zerg prefer to go for a very heavy spine crawler defense, but it seems like Razzle is going to opt for a more, let's hold it with really fast speedings and banelings, and then he has the counter-attack options open to him. But the first bunker is already going down for Raz, or for the Terran player in the end.
Yeah, I mean, this, even with a decent response, Razzle still has to hold this. It's not the easiest of defenses, but all of these drones pulled, 10 drones pulled the line. I mean, 2 SAVs and a single Marine right now, that's not really going to work out too well. And even the decent micro on that drone, pulling it away even with low health. This is looking rough, but if the bunker does get up, and yeah, 2 Marines have already gone down, so that's already a pretty good start here for Razzle.
That being said, this bunker did complete. We did see a little bit of miss micro against one of those SCVs, but it looks like this Marine is gonna have some trouble getting into that bunker. The drones really want to get up there and hug him.
Yeah, the drones are doing a wonderful job of just blocking this out, but with the second Marine now joining this, some of these drones may have to actually start running for the lives, but yet another Marine goes down. That's 3 of these early Marines, and actually the bunker's going to go down as well, just the drones attacking it.
I mean, Razzle just made this look easy.
Yeah, this was, despite going for this hatchery first, it was a really easy scout, and Indian is forced to go ahead and lift and get on out. Behind this back home, he's starting to depot wall off, but he's got nothing. He's got these 2 Marines that are out on the map. Razzle has 10 lings that are going to move across the map and start attacking these depots, and there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So Indian, with his, low work count already, low mineral count, and no production in the terms of army, is going to have to repair these depots forever.
And the follow-up for in the end as well, that's what you got to think about. Normally when you fail a 2 racks, you have the option of going like triple CC straight up, or fail, kind of succeed. If you don't instantly win the game, you normally go for like a triple CC, or you go for a lot more barracks and you try and wall off with your barracks. But where are you going to wall on the natural on Metalopolis? You need another like 8 barracks to wall this off. So in the end's follow-up is going to be a lot weaker as well on this map compared to other maps. And Team Unrivaled Zerg player Razzle is going to be feeling really comfortable right now, just droning up, chilling.
Yeah, worker count already is kind of getting out of hand. 24 workers to 18. I mean, 3 of these workers are sitting here idle trying to repair these depots. Barracks are about to land. Indian actually is going for a double gas behind this. Not necessarily sure exactly what his plan is. Maybe trying to get a factory as fast as possible and do something.
Yeah, that can only be the reason, really.
Yeah. A rough start here for Indian, but he still has a chance to get in. I mean, his worker count isn't terrible. I mean, he is already down 6 workers and a base. So whatever follow-up Razzle chooses to do is basically it's just going to be on Indian to defend it. It's up to him.
Yeah, and we do have a few more lings coming out now for Razzle. Wonder if we're going to be seeing a follow-up Baneling Nest, but with the 3 gas geysers going down, that's going to be a lot of Banelings if he chooses to make the Baneling Nest. And we do see the Baneling Nest, actually. Another option for 3 gases, a Roach Warren, is quite common. But it does look like Razzle just wants to just bust down the door. Yeah, hopefully.
In the end, he's trying to get a reactor on this barracks for the factory that's building currently. Realizing that if he gets some Hellions out, he can micro against Banelings pretty well. Since the Banelings are definitely going to be slow Banes for a long time, but there's just so many Lings right now. Yeah, there's some Marines up here, but there's no bunker support. SCVs being pulled off. They're realizing that this is probably going to be Banelings really, really soon. And
the Roach Warren goes down as well.
Wow, so absolutely everything for Razzle. That's just going to be a lot.
Razzle is covering all of his bases, making sure the Roach Warren is a nice aggressive tool, but also a nice defensive tool. And make sure you don't die to anything really wonky. Like if suddenly 10 Blue Flame Hellions somehow just were rallied out of Indian space, even though it's not even mathematically possible, Razzle is prepared for that. That's how ready, both aggressively and defensively, he is for this game.
Indian, he's realizing everything that we're saying. He's walling off with engineering bays at his natural, or at his main ramp even, adding some extra depots. He just wants to find a way to keep himself safe from a bust, but we do have 5 roaches in production now, so Razzle's not even using this gas just for Banelings right now. He's just going to deny the natural forever.
Yeah, I mean, we even see Razzle throwing down Spore Crawlers in his natural. He's probably going to get one in his main or an Overseer soon. Literally just Razzles knows he has a really significant lead, and because of the significance of this game to his team, he's just saying, okay, well, how can I lose? And he's just going down the list of like Cloak Banshees, Widowmine drop killing all of his drones ever, Blue Flame Hellions, like all of these crazy things that he can lose to. He's making sure no, that's not going to happen. And in the end, is trying to clean out these lings out of his natural, but even then, taking fairly significant losses on his defensive force here.
Yeah, I think Razzle was going to try to spread creep because he does have a lair finish, so he could have denied this natural for even a longer period of time. Wasn't quite able to do that. And we have 11 Banelings in production. Absolutely no wall off. There's just a couple of these Hellions. Indian, he's got 1-1 on the way. That's cool. He's got Stim as well, but there's so few units, and it's going to be impossible to actually wall this off and stay safe. Okay.
I mean, if Indian survives the Roach Baneling, it's not even an all-in at this stage. It's just a timing attack or counter attack. If he survives this, which is more than doubling his current supply, he will have 1-1 to go for him over the 0-0 of Razzle. But I don't think Razzle cares at this stage. He's just going to make Roaches and Banelings and Zerglings until this game is over, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely in his favor. I mean, 44 workers to 33. There's not a third command center. Like, normally with the situation, if you're going for this Roach Bane attack, your opponent probably has a third command center, but that's definitely not the case. There's some bunkers being made up top, but Banelings rolling in. Well, there's not. This is quite the wall off here for in the end, and Razzle sees that. I'm not sure if he's just going to back off for a little while longer and just keep denying this natural and not really care about anything else. I mean, he is taking his own third base behind this, so he realizes he's ahead. He just needs to stay ahead and not let his opponent sneak out anywhere.
To be honest, I think Razzle can actually bust up here if he wants to. I mean, yeah, the wall off is quite impressive, but the depots to the left and the right of each the depots to the left and the right of the ramp actually won't block anything. So once these depots go down, he can just walk right in, and these bunkers are going to fall pretty rapidly if he decides to commit. But these roaches are all going to die eventually, maybe.
Maybe?
But,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
that's a lot of Marines. That's not really a lot of Marauders or anything really hefty. There is one Marauder sitting in the bunker, which is nice. So yeah, I guess these roaches will eventually die, but he lost 9 workers for it. There is actually a drop in the main base, but there's a few Hellions in here, and a Widowmine even, so he's going to get some counter damage done on his own. Actually, the Widowmine does a little bit, actually a lot of bit damage to his Hellion.
Goodness.
Loses the medevac and the Hellion in the medevac. He did get 3 worker kills. That's nice. It was a nice play. Nice attempt of a play there, but he is down 21 workers now and an extra base. So,
I mean, props to Indian for fighting, right? I think if this was any ladder game, you would have left probably as soon as the 11-11 failed.
Sure. Yes.
I mean, you only lose the game arguably when you leave the game, right? I mean, having this kind of fantasy GG timing, it will only improve your win rate. And in an important game like this, you've got to say, like, maybe something crazy happens, like Razzle A moves or just move commands all his Roach Hydra into a siege tank line that Indian makes in like 5 minutes or something, and then all of a sudden he's a little bit closer to getting back into the game. You've got to keep scrapping and trying to find these opportunities where you can maybe get back into the game, but it's still looking pretty grim. Razzle is still doubling Indian's supply. It's looking grim.
Indian trying to go for a lot of Widowmines. Widowmines can be an absolute pain for a Zerg player. I'm sure there's one Overseer with the army already. There's another Overseer being created really close to this as well. And with only a few Widowmines, this isn't exactly all that scary. 1-1 is still pretty far off here for Razzle. That is one good thing we were talking about. Indian already has +1/+1. He's finally making his first siege tank, which is going to help out a little bit, but still so little over here for him to actually defend. Both Widowmine jets do go off, which is nice, but this army is eventually just kind of going to roll over whatever Indian has in there. As he goes ahead and taps out of game number 1 here. So UnRivaled will go up 1-0 in this series immediately. GG.
Yeah, that was, I think, pretty unfortunate from Indian's side there. I mean, he went for the 11-11 play, but in a way that's kind of an obvious play for Metalopolis. I mean, you look at the natural of Metalopolis, and you're like, well, where can I wall off? And then your gut reaction is, well, I can't wall off anywhere, so I guess I'll just 11-11. And with the 15 hatch, the drone scout, the overlord scouts, the 15 pool, the fast gas, the drone micro, Razzle was clearly prepared for that kind of play, and that was a bit unfortunate from our Terran player.
With these best of one series, like getting cheesed like that, or not really, I don't know, you can call it cheese, but I mean that's the purpose of this league. You're preparing for a best of one. You have to know that's coming. You have to plan against that, and it's exactly what Razzle did. I mean, with the drone scout, even with the Overlord pathing of his second Overlord, he knew exactly that was a possibility. And he went ahead and made sure he wasn't going to die to that. So, GG to them. You are going to go up 1-0. So our next matchup is going to be a gold versus gold PvP on Ohana. See if CT6 will be able to tie it up. They're actually going to be sending out their captain in set number 2 here, who is also, I think, at least listening. I'm not sure if he can actually watch. I think he's on his phone or something, but he is at least listening tonight, so that's cool.
That passion, wow.
That passion, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we do have spawning in the top left from, oops, 1 second. Forgot to change one thing. From CT6 is our Protoss player. It is Ray.
And towards the bottom right-hand corner of Ohana, we have the blue Protoss player spawning in for Team UnRivaled. It is Defenestrator. Did I say that right first time? I think I did.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's the only way you can actually pronounce that word. So, yeah, I mean, you have to, because there's a max limit on characters for StarCraft.
Oh yeah,
2.
it looks like that's 12. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he had to take out the O. Yeah, he's missing a couple letters at least, but no problem there. We understand what he's going for, so that's nice. So PvP Ohana, always a great time in PvP in the first place. I mean, it's kind of relaxed a little bit, I think, in HOTS compared to at least Wings of Liberty style PvP, where it was, oh god, you expanded, so you're going to lose. Oh, never mind.
Well, I mean, you say it relaxes, but we have the Ten Forge coming down, so this is not going to be relaxing at all in the slightest. I mean, it's going to be arguably even more aggressive than the Wings of Liberty Protoss games, which is a 4-gate on 4-gate on defensive 4-gate on Blink 4-gate action. But this is going to be a cannon rush. I haven't seen a cannon rush in a long time.
Yeah,
last time I was back on, like,
it can be, and I'm curious where he's going to put it. He's actually going to put it in base. I was kind of expecting him maybe to start at the low ground, like at the 3rd or something, but it's not quite enough space, like if this were, what is that map? Cloud Kingdom, where you can actually, like, start your cannon rush outside the natural base. What is he? Okay, so he is going to start on the low ground, actually,
I believe
at the natural.
he's just trying to, like, okay, the first probe is there looking at, trying to be like, I'm a scout. Look, I'm scouting. Look at this scout. I'm scouting. Whereas actually he's waiting for this low ground setup to finish up before he places some stuff on the high ground. But Ray has caught on to these shenanigans. He sent the probe out. He's found this pylon on the low ground. And what is he going to be doing? He's going to try and start attacking the pylon. Normally with the one probe, you can't really do much in reaction to that. That's a bit of a shame. But maybe if you were aware of that a little bit in advance and you pulled a few probes, you can start just blocking where the cannons go, put the probes on hold position. That's a quite easy way of at least somewhat denying some of the cannons, but a little bit late here, but that's okay. We do see that this pylon on the high ground is going to be focused down, but I think the cannon on the low ground is going to finish as well.
Yeah, Ray will have enough money to actually get a mothership core if he wants to go for that now. He's going to go ahead and pull away these probes. Actually, he's making some more probes of his own. He's chronoing out a Stalker as fast as he possibly can. These cannons aren't ever going to finish, I don't think, for Defenestrator. He needs to start this one back here.
Yeah.
There he goes, yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 workers, regardless of what race you are, 4 workers will kill a cannon or pylon faster than it's building. So that's the key number there. We saw Ray wasn't taking any chances pulling 5. And he also has his own defensive cannon being built and a Stalker now. So I think Ray has this situation on lockdown, honestly. He has the gas still for the mothership core as well.
Yeah. Eventually he's going to be able to make that mothership core. I mean, these cannons are going to be annoying for a little while. He's going to have to micro the Stalker a little bit at least. He probably wants to focus on the probe or focus down what he can. Ray's cannon is finishing up here, so he's going to be able to focus down one of these cannons at least. There he goes. He's focusing down the lowest one possible. He will have a second Stalker out here in 1 second to help out. One of those cannons that was building goes down, another one goes down. So Defenestrator, he's still sticking with this. He's sticking with his guns here. There's no reason not to. You're quite committed at this point. Four cannons that are created. He's still trying to make cannons like crazy right now, but he's going to lose another one here. This is looking a little
back at home for Defenestrator, though. He is preparing for the transition. He's started mining gas. He's got his gateway up. He's got a cannon in his mineral line. He's seen the amount of gas that Ray has mined. He's just preparing, well, what in case an Oracle comes in, I'm just dead. So he's trying to cover his bases here, but again, he's going to be playing from behind a bit, with the Cybernetics core only just going down now. But a redeeming factor for Defenestrator is Ray has only just started Warp Gate maybe 20 or so seconds ago, kind of boosting out rapidly quite now, but still looking pretty good for Ray.
Yeah, he could even just go for some sort of 4-gate if he wanted to and try and go that route with killing Defenestrator. He is adding on that Robo, however. He's got 3 Stalkers out now that eventually he's going to be able to clean these cannons up and probably just walk across the map and start being really annoying to Defenestrator's main base as well. Defenestrator's Cyber just has finished up, and he's look at this, going directly into the Twilight Council, because as a Protoss player, if your first cheese doesn't work, you need to cheese more.
I mean, this could be macro
Blink or
Dark Templar.
DTs.
That's not cheese, right?
Totally, like the DT expand, that's a build.
That's a very good. You say that is a staple PvP build. That is a genuinely very good PvP build. But normally you don't open with the Cannon Rush. That's the tweak there.
Ray's even already getting Observer and attacking his own Cybercore because, I don't like it anyway. He
Why
does
not?
fix that, right? He's going to walk away. He's still got these 3 Stalkers. He's going to take out this last pylon here. Worker count right now still pretty even, 19 to 17. Defenestrator has a Mothership Core back home. He's pretty safe. I think the only problem is it's going to be really hard for him to actually expand at any point in the near future.
Yeah, basically we're waiting for what is this Twilight Council going to be doing for Defenestrator. That's the next thing. I mean, the Observer is already finished for Ray, so if this is a Dark Shrine, and I think it's going to be, Defenestrator is going to have a bit of a sad face as he sees his Dark Templars aren't actually that cloaked as they walk under the little Observers of Ray.
Yeah, I don't really understand why you wouldn't go for Dark Templar in the first place, because there's already cannons in Ray's
Yeah,
line.
that's true, actually. I mean, he forced defensive cannons out, so the Dark Templar follow-up, it doesn't make that much sense. But that being said, if Ray doesn't move across the map with an Observer, you can use the Dark Templars defensively. They're a very good defensive tool.
It's a very nice way to stay alive in games that you may have already lost, but if your opponent forgets vision or doesn't realize that a Dark Templar is attacking his army across the map, you can come back pretty quickly. You lose they lose their entire army, and suddenly you're even again. So maybe that's a hope, or maybe he really actually just wants to be able to actually use this. Did it? Oh, he didn't actually see it. Ray didn't actually see the DT shrine. He didn't get in there because the cannon's blocking his way.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and we do see that Defenestrator is going straight for the Nexus as well. He's actually the first player to be building a Nexus in this game, which is interesting. You would have thought that to be the other way around, given the circumstances. But if Defenestrator can hold this Nexus, he will retake the lead in this game. But that is going to be probably the most difficult part of this game, is holding this Nexus.
We do have a single Dark Templar that has been warped in across the map here for Defenestrator, but again, I'm not sure how much damage what this is really going to... Is he going to... Okay, I thought Ray was going to double expand for a moment, but I'm not sure how much this DT is actually going to be able to do. There is an Observer with the main army, so that's going to die off. So that's not going to do anything, so well, I guess you can make Archons now, so that's nice.
Yeah, Archons are pretty nice in situations where you get force fielded in with the DTs, so you can bust out at least with Archons. But it was good that Defenestrator only warped in 1 DT, because sometimes we see players just warp in 4, and then they walk into a missile turret or an Observer, and they're like, well, that's 500 gas down the drain. But at least it was only 125, and he knows now that Ray has Robotech, which is, I believe, knowledge he wasn't otherwise aware of. So that's nice for him.
Yeah, it is indeed. Robo finally coming down for Defenestrator. He is just now getting his second gateway turned over into a gate, or into a warp gate, I should say. Ray, he does have a decent amount of production. He's been chronoing out Immortals like mad. You don't necessarily need Colossus in this game if you've got a bunch of Immortals, and when your opponent probably isn't going to have anything but a few Stalkers and maybe some Sentries. It's going to be pretty decent to have. Mothership Core for Defenestrator does have almost max energy now. But this game is fairly even, except for the fact that Ray has this really nice standing army already. There is no such standing army over here for Defenestrator. He's trying to make a Warp Prism, so again, he's just trying to find a way to come back in this game, realizing he's behind and needs to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a question of how can you get back into this game at this stage, and the Warp Prism is one of the things you can do if he moves out, or he's just used all of his warp pins up somewhere. Then the Warp Prism can do a lot of damage. But we do see that Ray is already on Defenestrator's side of the map, taking his Watchtower. He's getting a forward pylon, well, kind of a forward pylon set up on the right side of the map here. Probably another one. He's got 3 Immortals, and an observer. So this army is looking strong. And Defenestrator, without force fields, he might just flat out lose this Nexus.
Even the stalkers that were warping in for Ray spotted that warp prism, so he can go home and he can actually defend against this, even though he has these cannons here regardless. But Ray is walking up into the natural now. Overcharge is going to go down. There's a couple force fields, but that's honestly it. Ray's going to walk away from this actually, but I'm not sure if he really wants to do that. If he still wants to keep pressuring, this overcharge is going to last a long while, and as soon as it's over, it's going to be another one. Yeah, it's decent enough, I guess.
I mean, the main thing you got to think of is Ray knows he's ahead at this stage. I mean, he walks in, he sees, oh, you're just starting mining from these minerals. You can click on the minerals and see some of them. They've barely mined 50. He's already beginning to take his gas guys in his natural. He survived the cannon rush. He's got immortals. He saw like 3 units from Defenestrator there. So he's like, okay, I'm still ahead. I'm just going to wait. That's fine. I can wait. And he'll going to come back later, see if he can get some more damage done now. But arguably, you're going to wait for the overcharge to finish before you go back. There we go. Maybe a little bit overzealous there by Ray.
The problem now is that Defenestrator has another overcharge, so Ray needs to go peek in again and force that second overcharge, that he can back off and just wait for more and more units to come in. This War Prism trying to get something done over here on the other side of the map, but it is shut down pretty quickly by Ray. Switching into Colossus Tech is Ray, so just finding ways to continue increasing his lead, which is all he really needs to do right now. But Defenestrator is playing this out pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, this Warp Prism, although it hasn't done much, it has been taking away Ray's attention, which has been buying him time at home. We've noticed that since this Warp Prism has been aggressive around Ray's natural, even though it hasn't really warped much in, it has stolen most of Ray's attention, and Ray's army has been very passive since this Warp Prism has been out on the map. He's been making sure, okay, am I not dying to anything at home? Making sure that he's covering both his main and his natural. He's got a lot of units situated at home still, Stalkers in various places, and Immortal. Lots of defensive cannons, actually, as well. So he really doesn't want to die to this Warp Prism.
Yeah. How much does he have? He even has the overcharge available back home if he really, really wants it. Not having the Mothership Core with oh, is he going to run directly into the Warp Prism? He is going to run directly into the Warp Prism. That's nice.
Yep.
It might still get
away. I think
away.
this Warp Prism... Yeah, it's maybe just going to get away. Maybe. Get it. Kill it. No!
It's so upsetting as any player seeing that. It's got 5 HP. It's got 1 shot left to take, but it's about to take that 1 shot from these 2 Stalkers warped in here. So it will go down. Finally, for Ray, that does die. What just happened that he lost 4 workers?
I have absolutely no idea, actually. It doesn't look like anything really happened regarding the workers. Something killed 4 workers somewhere, but...
He may have been, like, walled in or something, maybe? He may have killed some workers that were walled in, or he may have accidentally rallied some workers to an awkward location. Didn't even see it, so that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm looking around. There is a spot in Defenestrator's main base where some probes could have been walled in, but only if the Nexus was rallied upwards, and I'm not sure why that would have been the case. But either way, if you look at the supplies right now, interestingly enough, you can't tell the cannon rush happened.
No.
And that is why you've got to stay in these games.
Yeah. This game's delayed by about 2 or 3 minutes, but beyond that, it's a pretty normal game at this point. I mean, the Archons for Defenestrator is a really nice tech choice for him. He's got 4 of them, and they're doing a ton of damage out here on the map. Both players are relatively even on upgrades. Oh, trying to catch an Immortal, not quite going to be able to get it, I don't think, though. But he is walking across the map. He does have +1. Ray does have that extra armor upgrade. It's about all he has. Both players going into +2 pretty much at the same exact time. But Ray does have a Colossus coming in. Double Stargate coming down now from Defenestrator.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, we do see sometimes in PvP, it's quite rare, but if one player is very obviously dedicating to Colossus tech and one is just sticking on Immortals and Archons, sometimes we see very quick Tempests come out to try and answer those Colossus, and I'm hoping that's what we're going to be seeing here. You can even see Tempests on 2-base sometimes in PvP. But I wonder if it's going to be Void Rays also. That could be a very viable choice right now. But I think Defenestrator's army is going to be caught out on the map. He's going to have to recall
his entire army. He needs to recall home, but most of his army is actually not in the same area. Most of those Archons were back. He's trying to get back to recall, but the Mothership Core goes down. That's not very good. That means most of his army... Luckily, Ray doesn't have Blink. Luckily for Defenestrator, that is. So Defenestrator is able to get away from this, and he's taking a lot of losses. You can look at the army supply right now, 89 to 52 in favor of Ray. And he's just chasing. He's just trying to buy some time. There's even some DTs here, but I don't really know if... I can't tell if there's an observer with this army or not. Engagement going down, but Ray is just shredding absolutely everything.
I mean, there's so many Immortals here for Ray. He's got 5 Immortals, the 1 Colossus. He's got more Robo units coming down at home, another Colossus coming down the map, another Colossus coming out of the Robo Bay. Defenestrator, he was looking okay until his army got caught out of position on the map there. This Stargate tech choice, Ray was going to be caught completely unawares for with all of the... There we go.
That's a pretty good reason to do it, I must say. So there we go. Do have the GG, and this series will be tied up. So Kuhn,
And Ray says he was going to do it as well. That's interesting.
That's one of those things people always want to do. I mean, this is the third place match, but you can kind of say it's not as important. It's still a good chance for people to have some fun. I mean, we're going to see a lot of players from both sides who didn't necessarily play a ton this season, but they are they're pretty well known within the team itself. They're just getting a chance to actually play for their team and do some work for them. So it's nice to see that happening. And Ray, he is CT6's captain. And he's been doing pretty well this season. He was kind of inactive for a couple seasons, but he's been back in force and doing really well this season. So it's nice to see him rocking out. Trying to remember everything I need to change in between games.
And people are saying you're the invisible man as well.
Oh, really? Okay, I have a lot of awkward problems with my computer that are giving me strange errors, and sometimes my camera just decides to turn off. So I'm back.
I mean, you can just put mine on the other slot as well. We have 2 of me.
Right.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
That'll be a lot better for everybody, probably. So.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah. So we do have a tie series. That's nice. We're going to go into set number 3, which is going to be a Plat versus Plat. Going to be a TBT, so another mirror, but just a different race matchup. And I think this should be okay for us. You currently main Terran, I main Terran for a couple of years. Not a couple of years, but at least a year before switching to random. And I think TBT has gotten a lot more interesting in the past.
Yeah. It is
6,
super volatile.
Months. Oh yeah,
you can die in 10 minutes. Just like you can die in 5 minutes.
It's the new PvP. It's all there is to it, honestly.
Yeah. Gas first all day, every day. If you don't gas first, you better be going 15 gas. Or if you go gasless, I mean, hopefully you're 11-11ing.
Right.
Well, it's crazy.
Should be a good matchup here. Just see how it goes. This is a tie series, as I said, and spawning in the bottom left of Daybreak, our map. In red for Team Unrivaled, it's Apache.
And towards the upper right-hand corner of Daybreak, we have spawning in for CT6, the orange Terran player, Spoon. Now, did he intend to type Spoon, or is the name like a meta thing?
I
we're
don't
supposed
really know.
to think he meant to type Spoon.
I also always think that it's supposed to be Spoon with like an H in there for some reason. Like my brain just defaults to saying that instead of saying what's actually literally in front of me on the screen. I'm not really sure why. I know he streams a lot, so who knows? Oh, apparently Apache's name is Apoji, so Apoji, and not Apache, as I said.
And we do see the gas first coming down for Apogee, so that is looking normal. We do see that the barracks first coming down for Spoon, but he is going in for a Reaper expand, so that's totally not unheard of as well. Many pro players love to do the Reaper expand like Pulp. If you're a player who likes to know what's going on with the opposing player, then the Reaper expand is a staple for all matchups, really. And he's also rallying his 14th SCV out on the map. So
I mean, with the
really
SCV Scout, he could also even be going for a Marine first, just go for a quicker factory. But I mean, both players are actually SCV scouting here. But with this gas first from Apogee, you kind of expect to see just the Marine coming out of this barracks first for him, so he can go into that quicker factory already. So I'm just more curious to see what Spoon's going to make out of his barracks to start off with.
You're right. Yeah, called it. You can have that one. All right.
The luck is real. What can I say?
Skill is the term we like to use here. The skill is real. So coming out of Apogee.
The depot came down, for Spoon, so it denied the vision completely, so he doesn't even know. He's got no idea what's going on.
There are some pros and cons to this in TDT. Like, you can deny vision quite easily, but then you can say, well, Reapers can just jump in and be like, or anywhere is a door for a Reaper, really. Yeah. You can drop scans, and then if your opponent likes to do early siege tank rushes, your supply blocks, like, doubly, because your depots are forfeit and you have to rebuild them, and that's 4 Marines worth of minerals gone as well, so you can say 4 Marines are dead too. It's pretty brutal, but hopefully Apogee isn't going to be pushing early with tanks, but with the gas first, could well be. But with the lack of the second, as I say that, the second gas goes down. So this does open up the opportunity for fast siege tank pushes.
Yeah, still a lot of opportunities for both players deciding what their tech is going to be. Spoom's second gas came up a little bit earlier, actually a lot bit earlier, really, than his opponent. So he's going to be able to get into a starport much sooner, depending on what he decides to do exactly. We do see Apogee going for the tech lab directly on that factory. So I imagine he will switch that over, but it still can be a lot of things. I mean, it's so fun because there's so many things you can actually do right now. You can still go for tanks. You can go for a medevac out of this first starport, and go for a drop. You can go for all kinds of crazy things. I'm just waiting for anything to be in the production tab.
I think it's going to be a Banshee. He hasn't started a tank yet. I think it's going to be a Banshee. He's saved up the 3 supply for this Banshee. Oh no, he hasn't. He just started another SCV, so he's going to be a little bit supply blocks as he tries to build this Banshee. You probably want to cancel an SCV if this happens to you. It happens to me a ton, where I'm still learning like when this depot goes down, and probably the same for you. I try and build this Banshee, and I'm like, well, I built an SCV accidentally, so I've got to cancel that, get that going. And it seems like Apogee is having second thoughts about that as well, thinking, well, my Banshee was delayed, so I'll just play a little bit more defensively for the time being and get the Raven out.
Again, Apogee he's seen absolutely nothing. Whereas Spoon was able to actually scout his base, his opponent's entire base. So he knows what is actually going on for the most part. Neither one of the players actually saw the second gas, and Apogee didn't actually see the first gas in the first place. But it is going to be this the Banshee coming from Spoon, as well as some tanks. So a lot of Marines, some tanks with a Banshee follow-up. That's going to be a whole lot of pain coming across the map, and Apogee is going ahead and expanding as well. So he's the first player to throw down that extra command center, which can be the death knell for some players.
Yeah, and we do see all of the buildings are lifting up and changing around, so we are going to be seeing some Marines coming out, some tanks coming out, and maybe even some medevacs coming out too. There is a favorite push, which is a Marine tank and medevac drop with auto turrets, but we're not going to be seeing that from Apogee. He wants to play the more defensive route this game, especially as he's about to start seeing these units come across the map on his watchtower.
The timing, he sees the Banshee, which is nice, so he gets a little bit of advance warning for that, so he can actually place his Raven in a good spot if he wants to. But he's got a lot of Marines to deal with the Banshee, but he didn't see the follow-up attack coming from Spoon with this tank, with all of these Marines. Is there a second tank? Okay, there is a second tank out for Spoon, it's actually just back home right now. He's going to actually siege it up back home defensively, kind of expecting maybe a drop to come across the map, but waiting to see. Apogee, he doesn't have his own siege tank is not sieged right now. Which is actually going to take a lot of shots from this initial attack.
Oh no, and this push sieges up. The command center does just finish, but it is going to have to lift up and get out of there. And is he going to lose his factory? That would be absolutely huge if he loses his factory. Or this tank.
Or the tank. Either one of these things. If you lose your first tank, that's a big deal. But so far, Apogee is controlling this pretty well with the Raven and the Viking zoning out this Banshee, keeping it back. And now all the Marines for Spoon are dead. Apogee has retained his own tank. He retained the factory. He's got his second tank out now that he can siege up and start firing at the low ground if he really wants to. So he defended that tech very, very well. I mean, not having the second tank across the map with it, or the Viking even, wherever that Viking actually is at. There it is. Or Spoon's Viking across the map
gonna get out
as well. Oh, is it?
Run, tank! Run! Get out of there! Go! You can
just drop down the Seeker. Just drop down the Seeker. Oh, he's dropping down an auto turret, actually.
Oh no, the tank's on A move. Oh, the dream is over. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. Oh,
so
wow.
Great defense there for Apogee, even catching that second tank as it was trying to run away. Or actually, that's the first tank. And he killed so many Marines, too. I mean, units lost right now. All that Apogee has lost, he's lost an SCV. Well, he lost 2 Marines. He even loses a Scout SCV. Compared to losing that Banshee, a tank, and 6 Marines. So a massive kind of a win there for Apogee. With his CC is finished up a little bit earlier as well, but neither one of them actually decided to turn into a orbital. But Apogee is across the map now, and he's got a tank sieging up in a really nice spot. Oh.
And yeah, this is what we're saying about TVT being really brutal right now. Both of these players are effectively just
trading
using
blows,
Zakra. Yeah, they're just punching each other right in the face, though. It's not even like artful dodging. It's just like one player goes up and does a ton of damage, then the other player counterattacks and does a ton of damage. But luckily for Spoon, that maybe mistake of keeping that second tank at home actually saved him here, because he had the tank already prepared for this counterattack. So both players are settling down now, landing their naturals, and the supplies are dead even.
Sorry, Spoon went to, I think he went to cancel a turret he was building, and managed to right-click it, or maybe just attack it with his tanks and just absolutely obliterated it.
No one likes that turret anyway, man. That's fine.
It's rather amusing. It doesn't show up in Structures Lost, which is kind of sad, but yeah, he killed his own building there. Lost a little bit of minerals, but no big deal.
It's fine. Minerals are free for Terran. As a professional Terran player now, I'm introduced to the money button, which we were just seeing land on the natural here. So the turret's already been paid for. It's not a big deal. Those players are now pretty stabilized. I mean, we were saying how TVT it just ends in 5 or 10 minutes often, but we've arrived at the 12-minute mark, and you can't really tell that anything crazy happened.
Speaking of, Spoon is loading up pretty much every single unit he owns in these 2 medevacs, and he's going to go across the map, but the auto turret, not going to scout it. Not going to have enough time to actually scout that, but the medevac is going to go, I guess, probably try to drop in like behind the natural, perhaps. He's got 2 tanks with this drop out. That's going to do a whole lot of damage. There's 1 tank down here for Apogee, actually a second one joining, so you shouldn't take a ton of damage, but I mean, you're thinking about what's going to attack my front. What's going to attack my front, not what's going to attack the back of my base. So his tanks aren't really in position to save that right now.
Yeah. I mean, he was kind of thinking what's coming in the back of my base. With the sensor tower he's placed in the main, Doom drops are really dangerous into the heart of the small medevac boost that they were added. You can just say, well, my army is now in your main, what are you going to do about it? And Apogee was prepared for that, but I don't think he's expecting anyone to land in his natural right now, which I guess we're going to find out how this goes.
These tanks are here, the pain is going to be real. Both these tanks sieging up, a lot of SCVs are going to die right now. Oh, nice, decent pull on those SCVs, actually, getting them right on top of the tanks, so they're not going to take many of the tank shots, but tanks are living. Apogee is losing a lot of Marines right now, but, retaining his worker count's kind of okay at the moment. He's lost 7, but it's only putting him even with his opponent, so that was a pretty decent hold. He lost a lot of his Marines, yes, but he retains all of his tanks, and Spoon lost his entire tank force, and he's trying to move across the map with his bio army right now, but with 3 tanks, Apogee should be okay to deal with this.
He really has to be in position for any kind of medevac drops before he gets out some more bio, though, because Spoon did reset Apogee's bio count here, so even with the sensor tower, if Apogee gets a whole bunch of infantry landed in his main base right now, he doesn't really have anything to react to it yet. He just has these few tanks, one of which is sieged up in the main. But it looks like Spoon is just going to be pressing for the front. Nope, he is loading up again. Boosting up towards the natural.
I'm not sure if he just wants to get up here a little bit faster.
This drop is not subtle.
This is not a subtle drop, no, not at all. I think maybe Spoon expected a little less bile to still be alive over here and wanted to drop on top of those tanks, but that's not the case. Stim is actually finished here for Apogee. He's trying to get on top of those medevacs, not quite going to be able to catch those off. Actually, is he going to bomber this? Is he going to bomber this? No.
Is that now a thing? Doing a bomber?
I'm pretty sure
losing
that's
all of your full medevacs?
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Rolling into the natural at the same time as Spoon, so he's pulling his opponent apart a little bit, but at the same time he's going to get sandwiched by this army, and Spoon is going to lose a whole lot. So both players, again, just trading blows back and forth, and supplies are still pretty even. We are a little bit of a supply advantage here for Spoon, but Apogee does have a 3rd base, actually turning into a planetary of all things.
Yeah.
And
Spoon doesn't even have extra CC started. He's just double expanding right now because he knows, well, your 3rd is landed, mine doesn't exist, so I need 2 of them right now. He is feeling pretty confident. He's like dictating the pace of the game with how aggressive he's been playing. But right now, Apogee's feeling pretty safe to move out. It's like, well, I've got the sensor tower in the main, you haven't dropped it there. I've got the planetary in the 3rd base. And he's keeping his reinforcements at home mostly so far. Well, 3 guys at home. Apogee is missing combat shields, though, so hopefully we see him pick that one up soon.
Yeah, I've done that in so many games where it's 20 minutes in, you're like, wait a second, why are my Marines so freaking squishy? It's like, oh, I forgot a very vital upgrade. Spoon not going to want to walk down into that choke right there. Apogee was ready and waiting. The watch mission here is really interesting. Did he just... Oh, he's blowing everything up. Oh, is he insane?
Huge load up. Oh my god, that is 7 mostly full medevacs now boosting around the map. Spoon has nothing back at home.
Oh, it's happening
Absolutely
over here too.
Nothing.
Apogee has loaded up most of his medevacs as well. Looks like he's going to boost into the main base, and there's nothing. Well, there's a few Marines here, but he's going to go for it anyway. It's like, yeah, YOLO, go for it. Is he going to lose any of these medevacs first?
There.
Oh my gosh. This is going to turn ridiculous.
This is going to get real silly. I wonder if Apoge's going to cotton on to the fact that, hang on, there's no army here. Where is this army? And I don't think he has yet. There's this huge drop going into Apoge's main base right now.
Apoge does have a
This
decent
game is going to
force
get real weird.
background, however. Yeah, this is turning it to a little bit of base trade. I think Apoge he's got a little bit more army out back home still, but that means Spoom's main army in Apoge's main is a lot bigger than the army that is in Spoom's main. So both players have pretty much the same army supply. Yeah, pretty much the same army supply, just in different locations. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. This game's going to get real weird. And interestingly, that fourth command center that Spoon made earlier is actually going to come into play pretty nicely here as buildings are going to start flying around the map all over the place. Everyone's lifting up all of their production. Oh my goodness, these games.
I think the biggest problem for Spoon is that his production got killed off a lot sooner than Apoge's. But Apoge is quite supply blocked right now, 60 of 57 supply. So all these buildings aren't really doing anything at the moment. Spoon doesn't have any. He lost his main command center, and he's losing more and more back here. But both players are kind of in the same situation. Their mains are ransacked completely. They have no production. They're trying to recreate the production at their third bases. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think something interesting to go for in a TVT base trade is killing off the supply depots of your opponent. The production can normally kind of half of it fly away and start rebuilding units, but if you kill the supply depots, that production's effectively dead too. So killing the supply depots, both players are supply blocked right now. We see their banks are huge, and the first player to effectively spend this bank is going to be taking a lead here. But both players' naturals are now lifted off. Both are relocated to each other's third base. We see both players have planetaries there. So maybe after both naturals are dead, we see that the third bases are going to become the new strongholds of each player.
Sure.
Maybe.
The good thing for Spoon, he's got one orbital, and he has another command center that can turn into an orbital, so that's nice. Sadly, Spoon, he's trying to get this orbital over here to land. Spoon was actually trying to engage that planetary, actually getting around top of some tanks as well, so it's killing more and more. It's just really hard to tell what's going on here. No,
he's already lost way too many units there. That's too much there. And what's Apogee going to be doing now? I mean, his bioforce is so insignificant in comparison to Spoon. Spoon still has all of those 7 medevacs from the original Doom Drop kept alive. And I don't think either player can really tell who's ahead right now. And honestly, I'm not really sure either. It's going to come down to who can spend the bank fastest, I think, because Spoon is ahead in supply, but he has the least bank. So whoever spends it first, I think.
Yeah, this is kind of awkward. Spoon, has he remade a factory yet? No, he has not remade a factory yet. He's just on 4 naked barracks trying to produce units. He's got these 3 command centers. One of them is that orbital. That's really nice to be able to have that mule to help out a little bit. But the protection tabs, well, actually Spoon going up to 2-2. Somehow he retained both of his engineering bays and the armory. That's a bit of a mistake on the Apoge's part there.
Yeah, he actually has 3 engineering bays. There's a 3rd engineering bay, which I think was a backup one, assuming that one of them was going to die in the 3rd base. And that 4th command center that flew off earlier is now being made into a planetary in his original natural. So that's pretty cool. We do see Apogee is going for the double expand now, realizing, hang on, I've got a ton of money. Rebuilding all of these supply depots. See, this is why you got to kill the supply depots in the base trade. There's such a huge investment as well to rebuild when you want to be pumping out Marines, but you really got to rebuild supply depots, which is kind of funny.
At the moment, I mean, Spoon was starting to increase his army supply lead. It's 40 to 27 right now. His barracks are, well, they're all making add-ons right now, but they will be able to actually produce. He's got a pretty decent supply buffer, and you retain these 3 command centers. There's a lot of supply there, so you don't have to make as many depots. Once these command centers finish up for Apogee, he's going to have the same situation, but still an awkward, even game that's going to last a little bit longer at least. And Spoon has finally recreated a factory, so can go back into making some tanks.
I think the next major turning point of this game is probably going to be whenever these armies next clash. Like, both armies are fairly similar at this stage. I mean, Apogee still doesn't have the combat shields yet, but he does have the siege tank edge, whereas Spoon's army has a lot of marauders in it, so they're going to be pretty useful with this high medevac count that he also has.
10 Marauders, 14 Marines right now. There's no tanks. They're going to be going up against 25 Marines, and there's a couple tanks on the map for Apogee. if he's able to actually get those in a decent position. But another Doom drop happening, but there was nothing. Oh, if he gets these upgrades, that'll be massive, because these upgrades are so close to finishing.
He's actually going to get these upgrades, I think. He's definitely going to get the armor, but anything... Is he... Oh, good. He is going to land and kill those. I was thinking for a moment he was going to move away. So one of the engineering base goes down, and Spoon decides, hang on, I'm going to go back. Nope, he's going to go forward. He is going to lose... Is he going to lose the attack as well? I'll keep an eye on that, but he's engaging into this planetary and the tank here.
Yeah, the planetary, that's a lot of DPS here for Spoon. He should be able to take the planetary. He's going to lose, some units. The planetary gets 4 kills. He was focusing that. There was some Marines going to town as well on Spoon's army, but Spoon is... It's just so hard to tell. Apogee's army is basically still across the map right now. He lost a CC. That's really all that he lost. Oh god, if these...
We might have a bomber.
Into the army. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Not going to happen. So close.
Oh! Stim! Go on, Stim! Of course he doesn't actually have the same vision we have there, but... There was maybe a missed opportunity there, and we do have... Here's the engagement that I was mentioning earlier, as both players stim into each other, but Apogee has so many Marines here, still without combat shields. I wonder if he's trying to make a statement at this stage. I don't need combat shields.
Yeah, you think about that. I think if he has combat shield right now, that's a massive boost to his just DPS capabilities, because those Marines are going to stay alive for just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Go to town a little bit longer, and both players, they are on even upgrades besides that. Actually, Apogee has a +2 attack. Somehow he squeezed that out at some point in this game.
Oh, we did finish that. Oh wait, the other
no,
part.
that was
yes,
Apogee.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Where is his
Getting the red and orange mixed up here.
Oh. Another engagement coming down, but this is mainly without any siege tanks, so the Bioforce's Spoons is a little bit bigger. Actually, what is he? Oh, he lifted 4 Marauders. He's going to put them right on top of that tank. I don't even know if he meant to do that, but I'm going to say he did, because that was freaking amazing.
Of course he meant to do that. That was amazing. That was so
great.
Cool. We do see that Apogee is still down in supply, but that +2 attack upgrade over Spoon is just barely keeping in this. But I think now that Spoon has started making siege tanks, it's going to get pretty rapidly in Spoon's favor, looking at how this is beginning to go now.
There
and
it is.
yeah, we do see the GG.
GG.
Game.
That was quite the
What a
game
good
there.
game.
That was
I wish my TBTs looked that good.
Right. Well, I'm surprised more of your TBTs don't do that, considering how often you go for Doom drops like that. So,
Actually, that's only versus you.
only versus me. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'll be honest, I've
see
only
how
done that
it goes.
versus you.
Well, CT6 is gonna take the 2-1 lead here in this 3rd place match. Again, this is a best of 9, so first team to 5 will go ahead and take it. We're gonna be getting into set number 4 shortly. It's gonna be our 2nd diamond matchup of the evening. I guess it's a little bit past evening for you. Is it ZVZ? Yes, it is ZVZ.
Yeah, it's a ZVZ, and it's coming up for midnight. We have 35 minutes until my birthday. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that completely. I saw you post it. I saw you mention something about that in Skype or Hip Chat.
What a nice
was.
birthday
I don't care.
present.
Right?
Letting me cast.
You know what's okay? I gotta ask you. What am I gonna say? Your words. It's close to Christmas, obviously. Your birthday's close to Christmas as well. So when you were younger, did your parents ever put them both together, give you gifts for Christmas and your birthday as one thing?
But some stingy people did, and I was not as impressed. I was like, well, other people get 2 presents.
Well, that was kind of how it was. My brother and I, we had birthdays very close to each other, so we sometimes we had to celebrate together. And it was also close to Christmas. Like my birthday's in late November, so sometimes we would get one thing that was kind of pretty nice, but we wouldn't really get much for the next thing. So no big deal. I'm not sour about that at all. Who cares? We have got stuck around. Right. Awesome. So anyway, getting to this next game here. Spawning in the top right of Cloud Kingdom. It is our green Zerg player from CT6, one of their many Europeans. It is Kami.
And towards the bottom right-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, spawning as... Oh, we have some German. Nice. I think that's German. Anyway, as the pink Zerg player for Team UnRivaled, we have Roxas.
Indeed, I forgot both these players are actually Germans. Completely forgot about that. So
Alright, I know how to say I'm a fish.
I'm a what? Fish.
I'm a fish, yeah.
Well,
I have network spikes. There we go.
Spikes.
Oh, man. The European in me is shining right now. I don't know that part.
I'm curious if they played on the EU server or not. I don't know why they wouldn't have, if they're both
I
actually
played
Germans.
some of mine on EU.
Yeah, like I know when people play Vortex, and especially with like CT6 or other teams have a lot of EU players, and we're playing Vortex. Vortex is almost exclusively an
Yep.
EU team. There's no reason not to, but they may not have. They may not have realized that they're both Germans at some point. But I'm sure at some point in the conversations that came up.
On the subject of ZVZ, however, we have the first development. We have a 13 gas 12 pool, a Tang build, if I ever saw one. Shout out to Tang. This is going to be some hyper aggression here coming out of Roxas, and they hatch first from Cammy as well. So this is what you want to see really when you're doing such an aggressive build as Roxas is doing now, getting the 3 guys in gas. Going to be grabbing that speed soon. We got some fast game, maybe.
Yeah, most likely. I would imagine so. ZVZ is a really volatile matchup. I know both these players are very, very good at ZVZ. Rox with a 70% win rate and Cammy with a 68%. So both of them, they know their stuff in ZVZ. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, 2-player map, a best of 1 series, and Cammy goes for hatch gas pool. That's a frightening play for me. I mean, I know on ladder, whenever I hit a ZVZ, I never go hatch first. There's just no reason to. I don't want to lose a game that easily just because of something early like that. So Cammy, he's going to have to find a way to defend whatever's actually coming. And we already got speed. We've got 6 lings on the way, and Roxas is still in gas. So follow-up Bailing Nest.
Yeah, it's going to be the follow-up Bailing Nest. Cammy's like playing the mind game here. Because it's so risky, that kind of therefore makes it maybe safe if the other player assumes you wouldn't take that risk. So I guess that's the thought process there. Or maybe it's just a standard build, and his thought process then becomes, I'm going to do what I know, because that's what's safe. But with the gas that he got super quickly, he can opt for the Bailing Nest if he so chooses, but he is just going to be going straight for speed, and he's going to try hold it with pure Speedling and a Spinecrawler in the main.
There's a good chance this natural base gets killed off, but if it doesn't, I mean, this isn't a lot of lings yet. The problem is it's going to be this follow-up from Roxas. He's got 4 more moving across the map right now, 4 more in production as well. So he's going to have a lot of lings. Cammy is going to push away this first attack at least, which is going to be nice, but worker count still relatively even. 15 to 13, just barely in favor of Cammy. Yes, he does have this natural base. He's going to be able to make 2 queens at once. Well, eventually make another queen. He does have a spine crawler.
It's going to get so scary.
Yeah. 2 Banelings being more
the thing about... Yeah. With the gas, it's like both players adopted for speed, but Roxas got speed faster. So right now, Roxas has the edge, where he has speed and Banelings finished, and Cammy doesn't even have either of these up yet. He's going to have to make good use of this Spinecrawler, but it's already at half health. It's being focused down. Is this Baneling going to connect with something?
Oh, Baneling,
yes.
I wonder, really well controlled by Roxas there. He ran that Baneling around for a really long time. It could have blown up on a lot of things. So well done by him to do that, and still just flooding more and more links. 12 in production. There's 7 across the map. 3 more Banelings being created as well. For the most part, Cammy has done pretty well against this. It's just eventually Banelings are going to be probably too much of an issue. He's trying to make as many spine crawlers as he possibly can. Did he lose that queen in the natural as well? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he lost the queen in the natural. It is going to come down to micro at this stage. I mean, the thing that Cammy has going for him, apart from these spine crawlers, is he will have more Zerglings than Roxas, because Roxas is turning his Zerglings into Banelings, and he's only making from 1 hatchery, whereas Cammy is making from 2 hatchery. Even whether there's no injects anymore on the natural hatch, he will have more Zerglings more Zergling production, but he has to keep them alive against the Banelings. And this one crawler is going to go down. The second one's going to go down too. This is looking really dangerous.
Yeah, it's 12 to 9 army supply. You can kind of say that, but still so many lings moving across the map once again here for Roxas, and he's turning some of these into Banelings back home. So Cammy, he's still held this pretty well. It's just the fact that he can't really get anything rolling. He makes the spine crawler gets killed. He makes the second spine crawler gets killed, and the third one gets killed as well. He's been losing most of his lings. He hasn't lost, he hasn't made a bunch of terrible connections with the Banelings, but there's a little bit of a mistake, it seems. But both players, this is a pretty intense micro battle if you've ever seen. Oh, go forward. Yeah.
that was close. I'll say
Banelings.
that was close. Yeah, Cammy has really got to still be very careful here with these Banelings. One bad engagement, and the game is over. That's it. And that was close.
The ling count right now over here is pretty rough. There's 8 lings in production, but those 8 lings mean they're not actually on the field, and that is the entirety of Cammy's army supply is in those 8 lings that he's trying to make right now. I mean, some of these drones are going to start dying. There's not too many left over on Cammy's side. He's only got 11 drones. There's 19 currently for Roxas, and he started his natural base as well. Does he have any extra queens or anything? No, he still only has the one queen, but he's finally putting back into gas. So this game's going to take a little bit longer, but a nice opening lead. It's maybe for Roxas, but now he has to defend the counter swing.
But he does have the Banelings to defend the counter swing. That's the thing.
Does he have
Cammy's...
Banelings? He doesn't have any
he
created
should
right now,
have Banelings.
Yeah.
And they're morphing in right now. This is actually a little bit of a mistake here coming out from Roxas. This Baneling should already be finished, in my opinion. And that's what makes Cammy putting on counter-aggression so much more difficult, is that the Banelings that should be here for Roxas, but these Zerglings are doing a lot of work, but with the defender's advantage here, Cammy is going to be shooing away. And any further aggression will be met with a Baneling defense, and you can't really break that with just pure Zergling, unless your micro is like bot level.
Yeah. Kind of at this point, both players are just trying to find a way to set anything up economically. At the same time, they don't want to let the other player, get a massive lead in the armies of play, so they just suddenly roll them over. Yeah.
So much to say, G-Log KC is casting next. He's not casting right now, so please excuse the excitement from the dog. Either way. These Link fights, man, they've been going on for a while now. I mean, I thought Cammy was dead, I'll be honest. I thought Cammy was straight up dead, and he's still alive. He's actually droning right now. He's saying, right, I'm safe enough to drone. Only 3, but that's something, right? We're going to get above like 16 drones at 10 minutes, 11 minutes.
It is something. And I love how Cammy, he actually walked out here and sniped off one of the morphing Banelings before it actually finished. One of them does end up finishing, but 2 Spine Colors should be able to snipe that off pretty easily. 32 drones to 22 now in favor of Roxas. The Lair is coming in, a Roach Warren coming in, an Evo Chamber even. Roxas, he's found a lead, and he's going to just keep it up as long as he possibly can. And I'm curious what Kami's response is going to be.
Is that moment for Roxas where if both players go Ling Bangling in the early game, you reach a stage where eventually, at least as around a diamond player, you think, okay, I'm safe now. And that is the transition point for when your build order says, oh, make Roach Warren and Lair. It's when you are safe, which could be 6 minutes. In this case, it's 11:30. It's so variable. It depends on how the games go. And we see a Ling run by here, but once again, there's no Banelings morphs. Yeah,
Roxas we realized he needed those Banes, but it's a little bit too late. The Banes are finally going to walk in here, but Cammy realized that he's just going to walk away. So wonderfully controlled. He even up the worker count there. Cammy has taken a worker lead now, but with the Lair finishing up, there's a Lair started right now for Cammy. His own Roach Warren has started, but the Roach Warren is really quite a ways away. +1 is already started for Roxas. He's got Roach Speed on the way as well. So eventually he's going to be able to start defending with Roaches, and that's going to be a lot easier than defending with Lings everywhere. And he's even got some Lings on the other side of the map that are going to be looking to be a little aggressive.
It's been the story of this whole ZVZ, though, is Roxas having the tech lead, right? I mean, he got such a fast... with those trades as well, he's just going to bust right in. He's got the faster Ling speed, the faster Banelings, the faster Roach Warren, the faster Roach speed, the faster 1-1. Even if this Ling attack doesn't work out so well, and it might not, actually, with the Lings around, or the drones around. But he's going to have the faster Roach speed and the faster 1-1. And Roxas is going to look to continue his aggression when his Roach speed finishes, I would say.
Yeah, as soon as he's able to progress with Roaches, this is going to be an issue. The work count is still even, but that's only because right now Cammy's making drones. Right now Roxas is making Roaches. And he's going to continue making Roaches because he's completely saturated at his bases right now. He doesn't need to make more drones.
Yep.
He can make an army. His opponent does not have that opportunity just yet. He's going to be able to start making an army somewhat soon, but I mean the +1 is finished up here in a second for Roxas, as well as the Roach speed, and they just now started for Cammy. Roxas is going to start walking across the map and just going to sit out front. Probably you can pick off the Roach Worm really easily as well, and that's going to be really a problem for Cammy.
Yeah. The nice thing right now going for Roxas is with his Roach speed being faster, he can pick the fights he wants to fight. Right, so he can say, well, okay, I'm just going to sit outside your front. If I can take a fight outside your front, I can. If not, I'll walk away because I can. If you have a third base, I can decide whether to attack that, and you don't really have much of a choice because your Roaches are just slow. Roxas is going to be the one pulling Cammy around the map, and this third base is probably just going to be cancelled straight up. There's no way you can hold that, right? There's Overlord reinforcements coming, but that's about it.
I don't think that was going to help out too much there. This Roach force is already over here. for Roxas. I mean, the rush force is pretty even on this side of the map right now, but I think the follow-up is going to be the scary part. Yeah, defender advantage for Kami is going to be nice, but even what Roxas is picking up with that +1 advantage at the moment, even +2 is on the way. Did he finish? Okay, Roach Speed did finish, but the Roachborn is going to go down as well for Kami, which means he's going to have to find a way to defend with like lanes at the moment until he's able to remake a Roachborn, which takes a while really to make in the grand scheme of things. Is he even going to snipe +1? Yeah, he's going to snipe +1. Come on.
I mean, it's just the icing on the cake / the salt in the wound at this stage, depending on how you look at it for each player. I mean, the Roach Warren is going to be another minute. The Roach is another 30 seconds as well. So Roxas has like 90 seconds when he's building Roaches and Kami is building at best Zerglings or maybe Spine Crawlers. I mean, Roxas can just sit here, actually, as long as he wants, really. I mean, here we go. He is going to be pushed away now, but he's coming right back up saying, well, yeah, you're the one with the problem this game, you need to fix this. I'm just going to sit here, take my third base, keep building Roaches over and over, and eventually Kami should die, unless Roxas decides just to like slash dance repeatedly and Kami kills everything.
There is an infestation pit coming down for Kami. It looks like he may try to be going into Swarm Host to draw this game out a little bit longer, but third base has finished up for Roxas. I mean, it's a good idea from Kami. I'm just not sure if he's going to have the time to actually do it. +2 is finishing up here in just a second, and Roxas doesn't even care. He's just going to go for the fight anyway. Drones pull up the line, which is never a good sign. He's losing more and more of those, and Kami is going to have to tap out there. Roxas will even up the series here, 2-2.
That was a very close DVZ, actually.
Yeah,
the only tipping
started.
point. Yeah, I think the start was the tipping point there, though. Like, with the hatch gas pool opener, your speed is going to be pretty quick for a hatch first, but against an 11 gas 12 pool, maybe some players like to go Baneling Nest first, because at least then when his speed finishes, your Banelings are done. So you have something to use to try and mitigate that edge that he has, and he has to try and dodge the Banelings that you have, and that allows you to get the Zergling speed out, and then he'll have to get the Banelings out. I mean, that's a way to maybe look at that a little differently, or you can go the gasless route and put more money into Queens and Spine Crawlers, but there's a few different options there in the early game for that defense. It's hard to say what is right and what is wrong, though.
Yeah, I think even defending that in the first place was amazing enough. I expected Kami to be dead in the first 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, me too. I said, why is he not dead yet?
Yeah.
He dragged it out for a full, 20 minutes or so? That was impressive.
So well done to him, but we are at an even series going into set number 5, which is going to be a gold versus gold TVP here on Metalopolis once again. And what did Paduli ask me something? How much was a surprise? I mean, I didn't really watch into the games, but I didn't expect a cast, so I actually kind of know what happens for the most part. But Stark has no idea, so that's fine.
Yeah, I have no idea, and it's even so far. We got 2-2.
Yeah,
with
it's great. Love it.
5 games left, so we're effectively a best of 5 now.
Oh, just loading in now? Okay. I was about to hit my hotkey, and then it stopped the loading bar. Go, loading bar, go. Yeah! It's that timing. Love when that happens. Anyway, spawning here on the right side of Metalopolis. This is the wrong stats again. Gosh dang it. Sorry. It is our red Protoss player from CT6. This is Extraneous.
And on the left side of Metalopolis, spawning in as the Blue Terran, we have Lumia.
Yeah, Lumia, not really sure. It's from Australia, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so there's an accent there as well. I'm not going to try. I'm sorry.
Sure, something like that. These things happen. Oh, I love the first pylon from Extraneous. That already
That's cute.
makes me happy. Because that means something's going to happen there. All right, the least, whenever Lumaya shows up... Well, I mean, whenever Lumaya shows up in the base and sees nothing, he's going to go, wait a second.
That's true. Yeah.
What's going on here?
There is that side of things. Yeah, there's hiding something normal if you're comfortable enough with your build order and you can just say, yeah, I'm going to hide my barracks over here because why not? And then if they scout in, they say, hang on a minute. There's no pylon, there's no gateways. And if you do some research into Extraneous, you'll know he does proxy gate from time to time. So this is... if Lumaya was scouting here with an SCV, then maybe things could get a bit weird, but we do see that the gateway is built on the outside, actually. I think you can fit a gateway inside on this particular spawn. I think you can fit maybe at least one. But the gateway's on the outside anyway, so maybe that won't happen this game. And we do have the likely Reaper expand coming out of our Terran player Lumia here.
Reaper, I mean, it's a good play on this map in general. There's so many places to be able to get in, so that Reaper's going to stay alive. So long as Lumia keeps it alive for a good amount of time, it's going to get all the scouting, be able to just pop in from so many different locations, even coming in from the natural and getting directly behind the mineral line. Where, I mean, a lot of Protoss, they kind of default to putting tech behind the mineral line, but on this map, that's right next to your natural base, so you really can't do that. Which means your tech's going to be out in this big open area, which is really easy for a Terran player to actually get in and scout out with this Reaper.
Alternatively, you can do what I've been doing a little bit in CTL and build another 4 barracks and build 5 Reapers at a time.
Oh.
Well, and then just kill them.
Well, this is all inspiration.
I guess you missed those games.
Canary is a part of the team, and that is something he does a lot.
Yeah, you can do that as well, but sadly we do see that the CC going down. I've never actually got to try 5 Rex Reaper on Metalopolis.
I'm sure it's silly. I mean, you think of it's kind of like Catalina with the wide open extra space for the Reapers to come in. That's got to be ridiculous, and it's pretty easy to get across the map. That's not really a long distance for a Reaper to run. And good scout here by this Reaper. I didn't actually see the gateway yet, but it's all you can see the zealot, so it knows the gateway exists somewhere nearby. And it seems
it does see
another one.
2 pylons. There we go. Found the 3rd pylon. So if you only see those 2 pylons, you think, hang on a minute, 2 pylons, 6 in gas, something's up. All right, that's the default thing for the Reaper Scout. You think, well, there's a 3rd pylon somewhere, and it's got something nasty because Protoss on it. But going into the gas, just checking, hang on, is there something up here? Spotting the 3rd pylon, the little setup up here. But actually, we kind of have a little bit of a mind game here because we do see a probe planted suspiciously over here as if it's going to build something. Oh, there's a rowboat. I didn't expect that one, I'll be honest.
I didn't really either. I was expecting it to be something, like maybe some more gateways even. Yeah, I'm not sure if anything.
I was going for the Stargate.
Yeah, that was possibly too. I mean, in-base Stargate is still going to work out pretty well. I mean, your opponent has a Reaper, so he's probably not going to actually bother with a scan at this point. And if you're able to actually keep that hidden a little bit, be really nice. But it looks like Astranus is going to go ahead and actually expand and push us into a macro game, which is going to be nice. Reaper once again just popping on in. It's going to see whatever it wants to see. Sees the robo, still sees everything going on. The chrono for Extraneous is quite high, but
it's well, it was non-existent until that last chrono boost actually. But here we go, the first chrono boost going down. If you're a Protoss and you're wondering, hang on a minute, I'm following these build orders, but something isn't quite right. Chrono boost is one thing to check. That chrono boost is normally always going on probes unless you have something key coming out, like a warp gate for a warp gate rush, or some key tech building, like this observer that's being chronoed out by Extraneous now. You want to get that across the map as fast as possible, so you chrono boost that out. That's something to make sure you're doing all the time if you're trying to work on your builds here. But interestingly, we do have fast Widow Mines coming out of our Terran player, and a fast Starport as well, relatively speaking. Are we going to get a Widow Mine drop? I really hope so. Possible.
That's always a possibility. I think the Widow Mines may have just been defensive, but he's still making them though, and he is making this medevac, so he's gonna have enough for a Widow Mine and Marine drop, which can be extremely powerful. Even having these Marines back in the main base right now, if he wanted to bring the Widow Mine from the natural back up and quickly pick that up. But Extraneous he's pretty well defended right now. His mothership core it just got created, so it doesn't have an overcharge available for a while. So Widow Mine drop could do a whole lot of damage. There is an observer out already with this main army, but nothing but Immortal's been being pumped out of this robo since then. So only with a single observer if you put a Widow Mine in both mineral lines, you're probably going to get at least 4 or 5 kills.
Yeah, and it also just forces so much attention out of the Protoss player. It forces so much, you have to go back and very carefully put your Observer and Stalker in certain places so they don't get shot by the Widow Mine as well. That's if the Widow Mine didn't already go off. And then as a Terran player, you're thinking, well, nice, that probably means the Oracle or whatever that's on the map for Protoss isn't going to be very active. I can sit and chill for a bit, I can do some of my own stuff, maybe put on more pressure as well, send some more medevacs out. It buys Terran some nice time, even if it doesn't do that much damage. Like, if my Widow Mine drop goes in and I get, 2 or 3 kills, I'm honestly not massively bothered if it's just the 2 Widow Mines that I'm sending.
Yeah. Widow Mines and Marines are going to be dropping here in the main base now. There's nothing really up here to defend. How many kills? Oh, good pull by Extraneous. He's really not going to lose any of these probes from his Widow Mines. Really nice reaction time for him. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I have a good habit of losing most everything. So, one of my shot does kill a Zealot, but it's going to be all that kills. Observer is here. The
Oh,
other one is
save!
already killed.
The
What?
save!
Oh, he's safe.
The Widowmine's alive!
Oh my gosh,
Yes!
it is alive.
It's got
How did that
like
happen?
-1 health, but it's still alive. That's
Honestly,
so
didn't
cool.
see that happen. That was well.
Yeah,
that,
all of these
that might be
aims.
the other one actually.
Yeah, one of them died. Like the one that was right up close, but the one right at the back, he got picked up right at the last second. I swear there's just bits of Widowmine there in that medevac instead of an actual mine. There's no way that works anymore. But wow, what a save!
Extraneous is
That
definitely
made
getting
my
aggressive now. He's got these pylons on the map. He's got all of these immortals. He's gonna be probably just gonna bust down the one bunker that's out front. The drop is still being a little bit annoying. Doesn't really pick up.
2 hit point mine. The
Did die.
dream is over. Oh well.
The Extraneous is going to leave a few stalkers back home to deal with this drop if it does keep coming back. But with this drop across the map, that means there really isn't a whole lot back home. He's got a lot of production buildings set up, the Terran player, but not a lot actually created already. And this is a pretty beefy force, but not much of an AoE force. There's a lot of Marines out. They do have stem. There's a couple medevacs as well. So this is going to be kind of scary for Extraneous to actually push on into.
I mean, there is the Guardian Shield here for Extraneous, though, so that is going to be helpful here, but we do have to see that be going down. And so far, it's been only force fields so far, and these Immortals are getting completely shredded by these Marines. But actually, everything died for it.
So, the force fields are really nice. It pushed all of the Marines back. The force fields kind of got progressively further and further pushing back. But I think eventually this force will be cleaned up, but a lot of workers are going to go down here. Which is going to be nice. I mean, workers do pretty okay against the Immortals, which is really all that is left right now.
Yeah.
No extra warpins over here. So
there's a couple of Zealots and Sentries, though, and they're chipping away at all these SCVs quite easily.
Oh,
and
the Sentries. Apparently the Sentries are just complete ballers and got a ton of kills. Actually, I guess these Zealots probably did, didn't they?
Oh, one of the Sentries has 6 kills, another one has 4 kills, we got 2 with 4 kills. These Sentries have 16 kills.
Okay, that's the SCVs. That's where the SCVs went in. That's actually kind of shocking.
Yeah, I mean,
the tickle beams did a lot of work.
On SCV.
That was amazing, man. That's a big deal. I mean, Extraneous he's only on 5 gates. He's still just pumping out Immortals. He's got his natural set up. He needs a few more probes to finish that up, but he's completely run over the natural of Lamaya. The worker count right now 38 to 25. Force fields continuing to going down. Even a Guardian Shield here. Lamaya with a lot of production, just not enough coming out all at once. Really, trying to save what he can, but. Getting a little scary. Even the Widow Mines, there's this Observer here already. Widow Mine shots should go off. Oh, gets the Observer too. That's nice.
That's the nice thing about the current Widow Mine splash. I mean, it is going to be maybe nerfed, likely nerfed, I think, soon. Did the nerf already go off, actually? I don't think it did.
I don't think it's gone off yet, but yeah, there's probably going to be going off. SCV's pulled off for the main mineral patches. They're trying to get around these Immortals. They will eventually get the Immortals, maybe, but I mean, the Zealots are here cleaning everything up. The Maya is down to 32 supply. Extraneous only at 80, but he's actually able to buy, and he's got a ton of money. If he decided to throw down, 6 more gateways, he could produce off them at the moment. But for the time being, it's just nothing but workers trying to defend against Zealots and Immortals, which is not a good thing. So eventually, I do imagine we will see a GG coming from our Terran player here. Oh,
Props
dancing the Immortals.
Oh,
love it.
dancing
Actually,
the
everything was
everything.
dancing. I didn't know Immortals could dance. I didn't actually know
Yeah,
that.
they can. It's one of those unlockable ones that Blizzard put in and then kind of forgot about, and they never put in more of them for us to unlock or pay for. But, I mean, oh well.
Oops.
I mean, Legacy is coming, right? There's going to be... All of the units are going to have dancers there, hopefully.
All of the downloadable skins. Hey, I'm Invisible Man again. There we go. Alright, so CT6 will take a 3-2 lead. We're the first lead of the night. Oh goodness, that's not the correct. So next matchup is going to be another PvP. It's going to be a Platinum one, though, this time. A little bit more intrigue to it, perhaps. It's going to feature one of the 5 CTL admins, Don Jimbo. Another guy who's not really played a ton in past seasons, but he's been playing a lot this season and doing a lot. A lot of work. He's gotten a lot of kills, I think. I think he's like 6-1 or something even, so... he's doing really well
pretty
for
impressive.
UnRivaled. Yeah. He's been doing really well for them. Let me find the right thing I want here. Make sure I don't make the same mistake that I've been making the entire night.
That's alright.
The production values. Well, I wasn't expecting to be casting, so what can I say?
Given that, I mean, yeah, you're doing a good job. But what's this? Acheron Waste for a PvP.
Oh
You
boy.
get some good proxy gates on this map.
Well, knowing Don Jimbo, knowing Don Jimbo's PvP, we're gonna see oracles. It's
Or
I think every PvP I've ever seen him play is involved with oracles, and even I had a series with him where I spawned Protoss once, and he went oracles for it, and I just blindly built to counter oracles, and it went pretty well for me. So that was nice.
the interesting
But,
thing is you keep saying oracles, plural. Are we seeing like 2 or 5 or
I don't know,
10?
2 or 3, 2 probably, probably
Ah.
not 10. I doubt 10 is a thing. He's gonna drop. Cobalt says he's gonna drop the base on this fool, so that's a word, I guess. Fifi Akalon,
I mean-
30-minute Colo battle, please. Okay, see what we can do. But yeah, we'll see what it can.
I mean, Tempests are a thing now, so if one player makes a Tempest, then
Oh, I think you were right.
Called it.
We're gonna get into the
saying.
spawning in the
spoilers.
bottom right.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. In blue from Team UnRivaled, he's our admin. It's a Protoss player, Don Jimbo.
Or is he spawning in the middle of the map?
Whatever.
Yeah. And spawning in for the top base, soon to be shared with our blue Protoss player. It is the orange Protoss player for CD6, Y54.
All right,
So-
so this is gonna be the second PvP game and the second amount of cheese. This is just gonna be proxy 10 gates. Yep.
I mean, the
54 gonna say-
stereotypes
Oh,
come
he's
from
not.
somewhere, right?
Right. 54 is scouting with a really early probe with that 9 probe, which is it's gonna help him out a little bit, but he didn't actually scout the
That's fine.
location you would want to scout, which is fine. He's gonna get in and see. There's nothing in your base. You've got a bunch of chrono. You've got really no probes. I wonder what you're
She
doing.
did a lot of practice with some of the all-in guys regarding specifically proxy gates on this map. So, yeah, with the 9 scout, which is
Oh.
going out here for Y54, and the scout in base, he's checking for all of the proxy gates. And when he goes in to the main base, he can see, hang on a minute, you have like no probes. Interestingly, this is the 1 gate variant. If there was like 10 probes here, then you could tell it was the 2 gate variant. But with the chrono boost going down, you know that this is a lot of minerals being invested, and he'll actually, if he sticks around a bit more, he'll see the gas guys are going down. So at this stage, Y54 can identify that it's going to be the Stalker variant of the proxy gate. Some of them have 2 gates, some have 1. This one has 1. And he is going to find it, actually. Interestingly, you don't really need to know where it's coming from, more that just it is a thing.
Yeah, he does eventually see it. He sees that as he's chroning it. I think it may be a bit of a sigh of relief seeing just only the single gateway. But he's going to pull a bunch of probes to try and kill the pylon before the Zealot finishes. But that's not going to happen.
I think this
means-
is a bit of an error here.
Yeah, that means most of these probes are probably going to die. Well, he could. He micros. If you micro well enough, you can kill the Zealot without losing too many probes. But he's choosing not to do
He's
that.
just-
He's just losing so many probes right now.
Tunnel visioning on that pylon. Is the pylon even going to go down?
No.
I don't think it is.
There's no chance that's going to go down yet. This Zealot's going to be up to 5 or 6 kills. He got 5 already, so that's a pretty rough start here for Y54. I mean, he does have his own gateway, but he's pulling more probes
More
even to actually
probes
try to
being
deal with
pulled.
this. So he does have his own Zealot, so he could try to get on top of this. And the Zealot from Dawn, he lost its shield, so he's at least lost that amount of health, but putting himself in a really nice position. Y54 not getting on top of that, losing more probes now. The Zealot for Dawn will eventually go down. There it goes, but there is another one now. With the worker advantage, 18-9 here in favor of Don Jimbo already, and he's got gas behind this. He's waiting. Is he gonna make a? Okay, he's got the cybercore already. I completely missed that. So he's got a stalker coming even already, which is just gonna spell even more doom for 54.
I mean, that's
here.
just going to be, quite frankly, game over. None of the Protoss units for Y54 is fast enough to catch a Stalker. Maybe you can get the surround if you pull all of them, and he is going to actually go for the pylon depower again, and he is going to get it this time, but with the Stalker coming out, if this is microed correctly, this can kill everything that Y54 has, literally everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to be Don still has to micro well. He still has to actually not lose the stalker. Actually, is he going to go home with this minus? Is he meeting up with another one?
I think he's just
waiting?
pulling it back home as he's macroing at home. He knows this Stalker is like such a pivotal thing. If it dies, all of a sudden he's like just barely ahead, and if it doesn't die, then he basically wins for free. But as he was macroing back at home, you want to keep that guy alive. Pull it back.
He's got a 3 gateway follow-up that's going to come with this, which is going to hit really, really hard. There's 20 workers to 10 at the moment. Y4 he hasn't been mining gas either. A couple of his workers are... Oh, no, there's only 3 zealots down here. So eventually Don is just going to be warping in a bunch of stalkers, and stalkers do pretty well against zealots when it's just zealots, so... it's just kind of a matter of time, it seems, but still, there are things that can always go wrong for the other player. You don't want to leave games, as you're saying earlier, is just a game that seems lost turns into a 20-odd minute game, yeah.
At the supply difference right now, even though looks fairly even, we have the cybernetics core starting as the mothership core and the robos start. That's the difference here. Even though the supplies are fairly even, the tech is so wildly different. Y54 is in the Protoss Stone Age right now, whereas Don Jimbo can basically do what he wants. He's just running around the map with this Stalker.
3 stalkers getting warped in over here. Mothership core as well has just finished up. There's even a robo facility being created right now by by Don. I'm not sure why I just called him John, but with 3 stalkers will do pretty well. 4 stalkers now, actually.
Yeah.
Not necessarily going to the best of his abilities, but that doesn't really need to at the moment. Yeah. He's just going to get more and more stalkers and kind of overrun his opponent.
I mean, this just kind of really details the volatility of some of these best-of-1 games. You really have to either, if you're going to be proxy gating in Don Jumbo's position, you really have to train that well, and it looks like he has done. He's practiced this build quite thoroughly, and even though Y54's scouting was on point for this proxy gate, it looks like he wasn't necessarily very well prepared for actually defending it. Scouting these kind of builds is one thing, but once you scout it, you need to know the sequence of events to defend this kind of build, and it seems like that wasn't in Y54's arsenal in this particular game.
2 stalkers are about to pop out for 54, which is going to be nice. He's going to try to pull the probes and get a couple surrounds. He's just gonna there we go.
One of the stalkers is trapped in the gateway.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
That's sad.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful. So we are going to get a GG. So Don will tie this series up 3-3.
Super close series, wow.
Yeah. It's nice to see. I know, like, last season the finals ended up being 7-2, which is kind of boring, but the series is close. So that's cool. It's always, I mean, a close series is always a lot more fun to see than a series that's just kind of.
Worst case is 6-3, and even then, that's pretty close.
Yeah. Where are we?
What have we got next? Oh man, we got a Brit. In my unbiased opinion, I'm going to be cheering 100% for the Brit.
We do have a British.
One hit point. My boy.
Another Brit, yes. 1 HP for the win. The Diamond player from CT6. He is from the UK as well as is Stark. If you were paying attention earlier, he mentioned it was close to midnight. I think it is going to be midnight. What, 2 minutes for you right now?
2 minutes until I am 22.
Yeah.
The ripe old age of 22.
But 1 HP he's been a really active member of the CTL in general this season, especially. He's been running weekly tournaments for Platinum, Diamond, and Bronze, Silver, Gold players. Bronze, Silver, Gold on Saturdays. I think it starts at noon, and the Platinum, Diamond also it's going to be on Sundays. They are on Sundays. They'll start at noon as well. It's like this. It's an open bracket point-bearing tournament. It's been going on the entire season. It's been pretty cool. I really like to see it. So the finals of that will be pretty soon, because I think the last week of the individual tournament is going to be next week. As the stream is catching up to the birthday thing, I think, over there, which is nice to see.
Iron Maiden's British too. I don't know. They might be.
Iron Maiden is British too. Okay. Where am I? Alright. I guess we can go ahead and load this replay up. If it decides to load for me. There we go. Awesome. So getting into game number 7. Wow, this has actually gone pretty quickly. Wow.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. That's pretty quick.
Hour and a half. Well, I mean, we had a cannon rush, we had an 11-11, we had a proxy gate, we had a 1-base speed. I mean, if you list off the cheeses, we actually haven't had like a macro game yet, I don't think. We had the Gold League game on Metal, and the Terran versus Terran. And that was it. The rest were cheeses. Which is cool. I like that. It's entertaining. Oh no. Zelmega Caverns. Why?
Speaking of the cheeses that we can have on this map, yeah. Spawning up here in the top right from CT6 in pink, it's our Zerg player, 1 HP for the win.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Zelnaga Caverns. Sorry, I'm traumatized by this map. It is the blue Protoss player for Team Unrivaled, Vital. And I apologize in advance, Vital, for the lack of a third base and the wall off that you're going to have.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. So, I mean, Vital. I mean, obviously, Vital knows this. Actually, I'm pretty sure Vital had to play on this map last week. If I'm not mistaken, he had to play on this map last week, and it was actually the deciding game. It was the deciding match last week. It was the very last one that got played, at like 10 p.m. on Sunday. It was on Zelda Caverns. Yeah,
wow,
that was rough. But I mean, one HP realizes that this map is this map, and he's the way he's scouting right now, going for this awkward. Right. Just make sure it's not a proxy gate there.
I was thinking, is he really going for a hatch first on Zelda Caverns? Like, I don't think that's ever been done before.
Yeah, any sort of like super quick, extra main building, town hall building is probably a bad idea. Unless you're super confident you can hold anything, you probably shouldn't do it. Maybe as a Terran player, because at least you can put it on your high ground and then float it away. But the other races, that's really kind of scary to do. But
I don't think
like a normal game.
Yeah, so far. That's really weird. Just I mean, this is a diamond level game, isn't it? So unsurprising that this game is looking a lot more normal. But this pylon block, I think Vital is going to let it finish. This isn't such a big problem if, as soon as you see the pylon go down, you start building an Overlord. It's a little bit late here for one hit point, and he is taking arguably what is the closest hatchery that doesn't have rocks on this map. Which is a little bit awkward. I mean, welcome to Zelnaga Caverns. The third base to the left has rocks on. The third base in the middle has, also rocks on. I mean, yeah, it's pretty awkward for a Zerg player. We do see the Zerglings are going to come out, kill off this pylon, and a pretty fast gas coming down, but that's mostly a reaction to scouting the gateway that allows the speed to be fast enough to see whether you need that to hold any kind of gateway pressure. The mothership core coming out as well. All nice standard things. We're not going to be seeing any super fast, crazy Stargate, Robo, any kind of malarkey like that.
Kind of interesting that Vital is going for a second Zealot right now. He hasn't expanded yet. I mean, if you're going to do a gateway expand, I'm pretty sure you get, even if you get the first Zealot, you don't get a second one. So I'm curious what he's going to be doing with this. Like, he's got to be doing something that's going to be a quick attack. Which is, I think it's a good idea. I'm waiting for him to scout out that this hatchery is over here, though. He'll probably find that in about 20 minutes.
I mean, when you go and proxy a Stargate over there, because Protoss, right? You'll find it. But I think, actually, the second Zealot in this case was saying, okay, I forced out Zerglings because of this pylon block. And there's nowhere else to take a hatchery, because feasibly you wouldn't take this base on the right side of the map, right? So, as he transfers drones there. Feasibly, you wouldn't take that base. So he's saying, okay, there's probably going to be some heavier aggression on one base as he takes his natural, and the second Zealot's going to help him defend that kind of stuff. Also, that there's no way you're putting a wall off, really, not early at least, to defend this natural. So the second Zealot, he can send one down to sort of help with the mothership core, another one to wall off. I think he's just playing extra safe. But
Vital, another thing is he hasn't seen a natural hatchery anywhere. This probe has been on the map trying to find where the heck... Okay, you have to have expanded. There's no way you're on one base, right? That's impossible.
Yeah.
So he's got to be a little bit afraid right now.
Third. And he hasn't checked this fifth, arguably, for Vital. But he's going back into the main base. He's going to see... Actually, he's going the wrong way. He's going to run past his queen. It might die pretty quickly, but he is going to see... Is he going to see the Roach Warren?
Oh, wonderful Roach pull, or wonderful drone pull by 1 HP to make sure that he didn't get that out. But I think even in doing that, you kind of got to say to yourself, okay, something's up. You're doing something.
Yeah. And also, I think Vital's probe might have got just close enough to see a drone returning gas. Maybe. I mean, there's no way to check that anymore because that's been and done. But maybe he saw that. But we don't see a reaction out yet, apart from this chrono boosted immortal, which could well be a reaction actually, as this observer flies across the map.
Another thing is speed is finished as well. There's no semblance of a wall off here. He's got an overcharge, and that's really about all he has. He's got a couple of zealots and a single sentry. Yeah, he's croning out this immortal, but we've got 9 roaches that are going to be across the map here in a bit, and a lot of speedlings.
This is I mean, there's an overcharge.
Yeah, overcharge is good.
That
Overcharge is a pretty good unit. Actually, is he? Oh, if he gets force fielded out or trapped in some way, yeah, trapping him very nicely there. Roaches can't really do anything. They are attacking the zealot. He's gonna try to bust up this ramp, but it's still really difficult. He's been taking damage from this overcharge the entire time. So 1 HP. He's trying to get something done. He doesn't have any high ground vision to actually take out anything up there. However, just not quite enough to really kill him.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you'd expect on a Zelnaga Caverns. I mean, so 1 hit point can go and take a 3rd base soon if he wants. He is floating around that 300 minerals, pulling out a gas again. So yeah, he does want to go take that 3rd base now. Well, his natural. But 2 immortals out now, 2 sentries as well. I mean, that's a really good force field.
That was really good force field as well. There's another overcharge available, so that's going to go down. And it looks like Vital has held this pretty well. And he hasn't really lost too many probes. He lost 2. 1 HP is taking that 3rd hatchery back home. But with these immortals, with the ability to, well, once Vital's able to actually get down there and probably start taking a little bit more gas, he can follow up with, just a kind of a later time Sentry Immortal sort of thing. Or if he ever decides to go find out where this natural hatchery is and decides to go and attack that, Creep's going to take forever to get over there to defend that. And
well, you won't defend that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to defend that very well, especially with slow roaches. Yeah, you got speedlings, but the amount of minerals that Vital's going to be having eventually, you don't have enough zealots to deal with that. And even if he doesn't even want to bother with that hatchery, he just goes for the army.
Yeah, I think the problem there that happened with that roachling attack is there was a lot of indecisiveness at a 1 hit point. Like he went in and attacked the Nexus that was overcharging, and then he thought, oh no, let's go into the main, and then he pressured there, got force fielded a bit, went back, went left, came back, second overcharge, tried attacking the Nexus. I think if he maybe committed to the Nexus, he probably could have just killed it, but I mean, we do see this Ling Run by is going in, but Vital's already walled off, guarding himself against probably the one thing that could really throw him off here, with this Roach, Immortal counterattack rather.
Yeah, this counter is going to be killing this 3rd hatchery here. Zealots are being warped in back home to deal with the Lings that have been running by, and still there's no probes down there, and Vital's getting into the main base, which can be kind of scary. There's a lot of roaches about to pop here. There's about 6 roaches that are going to be popping out here of the main hatchery in just a second, but 3 immortals now. Drones being pulled to try to help defend. Another decent force field kind of trapping some of these drones back. Roaches do pop out right on top of this army, but 3 immortals, so freaking powerful. Right now. Doesn't even really need those force fields too much. Just a little bit of help. Still warping in some more stalkers, a few more zealots as well to help out this attack. And now all of the workers in the main base have been killed off. 17 drones down. And 1 HP is going to tap out there. Wow.
That was an excellent long-term game plan from Vital, that game. I mean, the thing about those Immortal Sentry builds is you basically, the rule of thumb is 3 hatcheries need to be solid to defend that. And we saw him open up with the gateway, block the natural with the pylon, and then force the other hatchery to be built on the opposite side of the map. And then whenever 1 hit point did take a 3rd hatchery, either it's going to be through the normal 3rd on this map, or it's not going to exist, or it's going to be the weird one across the map, and that hatchery is basically dead. I mean, there were 3 sets of hatcheries worth of roaches coming out, but it wasn't really 3 hatcheries worth. It was 1 hatchery 3 times, and they sort of trickled in dribs and drabs, and it didn't work out. Bit of indecisiveness as well with the initial roachling all in.
I feel like 1HP probably had a plan to do that sort of early attack, but getting that natural block just completely threw him off, and he still tried the attack. It just didn't work out in his favor, and Vital just responded really well to it. Was able to take that game, but going to take a short break right before we get into set 8 and set 9. I need liquid in my throat because talking is difficult.
Human being,
etc., etc. So we'll be back. Stick around, etc., etc. Thank you for watching thus far. And we'll be back here shortly.